Live from the surface of Mars, it's Stupid O'Clock. I'm Lewis Lee. Dateline Boca Chica, Texas. Some are calling it a glorious, spectacular, successful failure. Starship prototype serial number 10, the latest test vehicle for SpaceX's long-distance mission booster, went on a short test flight yesterday from the launch facility in Boca Chica. After an abort a couple of hours earlier for a sensitive computer parameter, the stainless steel cylinder right out of Buck Rogers rose effortlessly into the South Texas sky for just over 6 miles. Then it hung in the air for a few seconds before turning itself on its belly and gliding back toward Earth. At just a couple of 100 feet above the ground, the ship righted itself again and fired the 3 Raptor engines to slowly land pointy side up, flamey side down, just like in the manual. The landing was a success, with ground crew, observers, and Elon Musk all cheering, even though the ship appeared to be listing to one side a bit. But the celebrations were short-lived, as just a few minutes after landing, the ship blowed up. Engineers are going through the telemetry data and will determine what caused the last-minute rapid unscheduled disassembly. In the meantime, plans are already underway to roll out SN11. That's the news. Let's start the show.
Hey, thank you. Sorry,
Hello,
I warned all the staff that I was going to come sliding in hot, and pretty much I said hi and the show started.
Yeah, and the thing about it was I even said to Joe Doc, like, I'm pressing the button, and he started talking and to cut him off.
I have something to say.
What?
Oh, Heather's here.
It wasn't a RUD. It was a rush, a rapid unscheduled second hop.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, is that what happened?
That's what happened. The first SN to fly twice.
It didn't fly very far.
No, but it flew.
It flew over there and over there and over there.
Yeah, it flew apart.
Bits and pieces of it,
It
covered
landed.
quite a distance. But yeah.
It sat there for 8 minutes, and then it flew again, only a couple 100 feet.
That was the problem. It
Well,
didn't land correctly the second time.
It flew a few feet, then blew the rest.
But they're calling it. They're making a joke on Twitter, and they're calling it a rush, a rapid unscheduled second hop.
And I have been reviewing a lot of video. I think we've had it was an engine failure. Is why it hit a little harder than it should have.
It bounced. I mean, you could see it bounce.
It bounced. Yes.
It was a hard landing. It was a landing, and it was successful to a point, but it took a hard hop.
Yep. Oh.
I mean, because you figure, what, 160 feet tall?
Yeah.
All right. So based on percentages, I would say it probably bounced 8 to 10 feet.
Isn't that what I called it, Heather?
That was my guess. Yeah.
I missed that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Carl Witzman says 30 seconds later, one piece finally came back to Earth. Yeah. It was.
Yeah, it was spectacular. But that's why I called it a glorious, spectacular, successful failure.
Yeah.
It was.
And I've been watching.
I mean, until they can park it back in the assembly building, it's, you know.
I've been watching some of the other broadcasters that were announcing it, and they're like, "Oh my God, it just blew up." No.
Everyday astronaut had to go off the screen for about 10 minutes to recollect himself and watch the footage, and then he came back and he was still speechless.
Yeah.
Why? I mean,
Because
a lot
we
of this is-
didn't once it landed, it was just
Yeah.
like, yeah, it landed. We didn't expect it to blow up.
but
Like you saw my reaction.
I've been watching these things long enough that remember what I said when they scrubbed it, and it went to 0, and I said I don't cheer, I don't get excited until I see the flame at the bottom and it lifts off. Well, we saw the flame at the bottom, and I got excited, and it still stopped. So
Yeah.
I just, I take SpaceX as it comes to me. I'm excited for it. I'm pulling for them. But, I know that there are going to be trials and errors. And so until they put people in it, I'm going to expect something. But I'm pretty sure they're going to make sure all the bugs are worked out before they put people in it, like they did with Crew Dragon.
Yeah. There is our resident swordsman.
Nicholas.
Hello, guys.
Excuse me.
Hey,
Or
Nick.
Lord. Lord.
Lord Lewis, always good to see you.
But
Yeah.
I want to say thanks to Skunk for getting the show started, because I was running late. I mean, I slid in hot and sideways.
I almost didn't make it.
Well, I do want to point out something. I'm glad Heather is here. Like, that makes me happy.
Yes.
And B, it was really funny when before you started the show, Joe.
Yeah.
Lewis showed up and was going on about, I was got the background from Mars. Like, that's great. As you can see behind me, that I'm transmitting from the Mars moons.
So I see. I was noticing that, Skunk.
When he first started talking about it, he was talking about Desmos and
Phobos and Deimos.
yeah, he was talking. I was like, you are not talking about the oil rigs that SpaceX is going to use for drones, are you? He's like, no. I was just like, okay. He's just like, really? He named them after that? Yeah.
Yeah.
He named them after the Mars moons.
4K video from NASA, from Perseverance, of the surface of Mars.
Jezero crater.
I just love how you got the lighting to match so well.
I know.
It's that next
Tweak it so that it looked like I was in that light.
So
Take some blue out.
His background is in 4K. My background is in
8-bit.
No. I was gonna say 480.
Oh.
Yeah. You had to have a. You had to have a.
VGA, the kid.
Okay.
640 by 480. Yeah.
No.
You had to have a 16-bit video card to play.
This because I believe, if I remember correctly, when I read the description, that this long play was done in Z-Doom, means that this is Super VGA. But it's probably, even though it's Super VGA, it's a Super VGA color depth, but it's probably only displaying VGA colors. So it's Super VGA color depth, but with VGA colors, the VGA color palette. Doom was compatible with every DOS color mode at the time period. You could even run Doom in CGA. And
Nice.
for those of you who don't know what CGA is, you only got 3 colors and black, which was off.
Nice. I dig it. See, you've got all that. My background is in lovely Harbor Freight giveaway for buying anything. So this cost me going in and buying a 25-cent click knife, because that's how I got a vast number of things from Harbor Freight. It was the cheapest item on hand.
A whole bucket of those click knives now, don't you?
No, I used to give them to people. Anytime I'd be talking to somebody and they told me they didn't have a knife, I'd give them one.
So
Be like, here, it's not much, but it's better than nothing.
Well, I went to Harbor Freight a couple of days
Hey,
ago and got some lights for my deck.
Nice. I love those.
$25 a string for the Edison bulbs, and it's 12 bulbs, 25 feet. So the bulbs are 2 feet apart.
Yeah.
And put out I've got 2 strings, put out just enough light. I'm going to have a hibachi party Sunday night.
Ooh.
We're going to do
party.
hibachi just before dark. And then by the time we're done eating, it'll be dark, and I'll have the projector set up, and we'll watch a first-run movie. We haven't decided which one yet, but we'll check all the streaming services and see what's new and hot and watch it out on the sky deck on the 10-foot screen.
Coming to America too.
Yeah, that's
I told him to watch Kung Pao Enter the Fist.
well, he's looking for a new movie.
New movie. Yeah. Coming to America 2 drops tomorrow.
You know, I just watched Flash Gordon with Buster Crabbe in the lead. The glorious. I was scrolling through Amazon and I found sitting here going, look, it's the guy who'd someday be replaced by Brian Blessed. And it was just great, you know? Xander's looking at me like, what's going on? I'm like, look, it looks just like the SpaceX launches. It's great, you know? These little cylinders flying through the air.
I'm going to tell you one of my favorite Buster Crabbe scenes was in Buck Rogers, the TV series.
Oh, okay.
The TV series, when he was on the Buck Rogers TV show.
Colonel Gordon.
Yeah. And Buck said something to him. He said, "Kid, I've been flying longer than you've ever thought of." He says, "You don't know who I am."
That's right. Wow.
Yep.
That was. You know, I spent years going, who is that old dude?
Yeah.
Because I know him. Because, just for a second, I thought you meant the Splash Boom one.
Yeah.
But no, you mean like the Gil Gerard Buck Rogers in the episode where all the pilots were sick and they had to dredge out the old ones. That is one of my all-time favorite, not only favorite episodes of Buck Rogers, but one of my favorite sci-fi things ever, because there's a scene, and it's only a few frames, where they're in the bad guy fighters in that, and you realize they're brown because they're made of corrugated cardboard. And there's just, they goof up for like 1 or 2 frames, and as a kid I saw it, where you could see that it was literally corrugated cardboard around the floppy, and I'm like, I could do that. That was
that episode was on a Doctor Who budget.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Classic Doctor Who budget.
Now I met Gil Gerard down in Huntsville at the comic show down in Huntsville, Alabama.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I said, what did you think about getting to play with Buster Crabbe in Buck Rogers? He said that was one of the highlights of the series for him.
Oh, that was, and he would look good for his age too.
Yeah,
I mean, he was well held together at that point.
He was deep in the 70s at that time.
Yeah, but I mean, it was totally believable that they drug him up and brought him into service.
Yeah.
Now, I got. Oh, hey, the guy.
Oh, hi, Daddy. That's my dad tuning in. What's going on, Skunk?
Well, I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but I got a bit of a delay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you've
been kind of.
I didn't have a delay. I didn't have a delay. Yeah, I didn't have a delay on the last show, and I tried changing my background, and that didn't make a difference. So something else is going on. I'm trying to figure out what's sucking up all my memory. The thing,
You've
the
got
thing
my
I'm,
internet connection.
no, it's not that bad. I'm actually curious about who Bobby is referring to as the wolf. Is he referring to me or Dan? And if he's referring to Dan, I'm assuming he means Winston Wolfe, Harvey Keitel in Pulp Fiction. And if he's referring to me, I'm assuming it's Teen Wolf.
Yeah. Now, you when you look straight on, you do have sort of a Wolverine-ish look, but also
Well, yeah, your hair is doing a little
yeah,
Wolverine.
I can see the Wolfman reference.
Remember when I used to have the
Especially with
Wolverine
that 80s
sideburns?
background.
Oh,
Remember when I had
Heather
the,
Slade.
remember
talk about
years
it.
ago?
Hey,
No, do you remember that though from years ago, Joe?
the Michael J. Fox Teen Wolf.
No, you weren't listening. Remember years ago when I had the Wolverine mutton chops?
Oh yeah,
Like hardcore?
yeah.
There's still photos of that from that LibertyCon.
There's still always photos.
I'm going to tell you guys right now. All right, I'm going to restart my computer and I'm going to come back. We're going to try this again. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll give you a topic. Rhode Island is neither a road nor an island. Discuss.
All right. And Heather,
I'm going to ignore everything you said because Skunk isn't the boss of me. And I want to take a minute since there's a natural gap to announce that my book, The Fighting Axe, just got approved for publication through Amazon. At least as an ebook. I'm waiting to hear back. So my first fighting what?
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. My first fighting manual took me 15 years to write. And then the second one I cranked out in a month. It's getting easier. But I'm hoping to have the next two in the series done by the end of the year, maybe, knock on plastic. But yeah, I'm really excited, and I wanted to make sure I could come out and give an exclusive something to your show. Something new that.
Well,
congratulations. I'm also completely strung out because anybody who's had to edit something in textbook format and then try to get it to agree with Amazon knows at some point your brain just starts leaking out your ear somewhere around that 2 a.m. mark because it's anybody who says publishing through KDP is it easy? It's hi Heather. It's easy, but boy, you got to dance. You got to go through your loops and give them your.
I'm currently writing a mini documentary, longhand.
Holy smokes! One of these days I'm gonna write a book like I do my notes, and instead of processing it, I'm just gonna scan every page and put this horrible chicken scratch gobbledygook that I have little doodles on the side. I'd be like, there you go, what it really looks like. But
what it is that's actually the verbatim from interviews that were shot, and I need that number one so that when I'm writing my narrative, I can lead into and follow these interviews. And when it comes time to close caption, I've got the verbatim. It's easier done.
So, yeah.
Nick, you were talking about the cardboard props.
Yeah.
My favorite screw up in a major motion picture was Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Okay.
Does everybody know which screw up I'm talking about? When Spock leaves the ship in the man maneuvering unit to go mind meld with V'ger, and then they show him coming out of that airlock, and then they cut to a wider shot, and you can see the plywood.
Yep.
There's at least 5 or 6 sheets of plywood that are in the shot. So we know now that the Enterprise is made of plywood.
That would explain why the Enterprise A blew up so easily. Carl, what you missed was me announcing that my book, The Fighting Axe, got published, or at least as an ebook. As soon as I have the link for the paperback, I'll send that out there. But yeah, I don't know. I'm a huge Babylon 5 fan. I've made no secret of it. But there's one scene in I want to say the first season where they accidentally go back. Thank you, Carl. In time, and they're scanning to do the scene, and the audio guy is just there. I don't mean like a piece of him. You need to look up the Babylon 5 audio guy, because he's like holding the boom in the background, and they just left it. None of this like trying to fix it later like they did with the
That's how
Admiral
time travel works, though.
Yeah.
The background cue always shows up in the shot.
Yeah,
but I can almost understand that, because that was a television show. It was an episode.
Oh yeah.
So there's only so many quality checks that it's going to go through before it broadcasts.
Right.
But then once it broadcasts, it's done.
Yeah.
The mistake that I'm talking about was on the VHS copy that they made.
I fully understand. It's mind-blowing. It is absolutely mind-blowing. Maybe we can get Joe to put together a montage of the best oopses to end one of these shows up with, still images or something that won't get, us killed for copyright violation where the YouTube moderators.
Well, what about Gene's guy in The Mandalorian?
Well, you know what? I was so mad. They digitally scrubbed him out later.
Yeah.
So when he went back to watch it, he was gone.
Nick, it's Star Wars. They completely re-edited the first 3 episodes. Well, the first 3 released movies,
and it was criminal every time.
Yeah.
Every time they did it.
And the Starbucks cup in
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
No, see, that makes perfect sense. Anybody who's hung out with Starbucks baristas, and I love you, Willow, and a few other people I know, Game of Thrones is totally right for Starbucks. I'd buy it. Like, shankings, you spend enough time in a Starbucks, you can see somebody nearly die. So,
yeah, but they scrubbed out the
cup.
Yeah, they scrubbed out the cup.
See, that's the kind of stuff I love. That kind of stuff. Oh, it's immersion breaking. Oh, come on, the immersion is not that good on most programs, to be honest. And that, how many people found joy in the Lannister brand Starbucks cup? They should have run with it. They should have made a deal with Starbucks and cross promoted the heck out of it.
And both of them could make millions.
You know what? I would have bought the game. I would have gone to Starbucks just for the Game of Thrones, official Starbucks cup, and that'd be sitting on my wall of geekdom next to Suki, and Lopan and Elvira and the important Funko Pops, because my priorities are a little confused, but. And the Major, because Scarlett Johansson did not look Japanese, but she does look like an anime character, so it was a totally valid casting choice, in my opinion. And in the Japanese, as I have seen it, so yeah. But, yeah. What else have you guys been up to?
Oh,
wait a minute. There's an Elvira Funko Pop?
There's 2.
Uh-huh.
There's a standing one, and I have 2 of those, and there's one where she's reclining on her couch of glory. Yeah, see, Willow? And your abs, yeah, well, they could have done that, and since they didn't, or they should sell Steins at Starbucks. That would be fine.
Yeah, Starbucks could have used it as a promotional tool.
Oh,
yeah, see?
Now, has anybody seen the show on the Sci-Fi Channel called Resident Alien with Alan Tudyk?
Wait. Before we continue to that, I'm still on what Nick was talking about. Now I want to bring something up.
Oh, that's right. The Mummy one is there.
Do you know why? and I'm being serious. Do you know why everybody knows about that cup?
Screenshots.
It was
The
on,
internet.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm serious about this now. Think about this.
Nobody
for a
would
minute.
have noticed.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Out of the 5 people that are here, how many of you know that somebody wears a wristwatch in Lawrence of Arabia?
Don't know about Lawrence of Arabia. I know there's one in Ben-Hur.
No, I mean Lawrence of
No,
Arabia.
it was Ben-Hur. Lawrence of Arabia had the Jeeps in the background. That's what it was. Yeah, Lawrence of Arabia had the Jeeps in the background. Ben-Hur
And a few of
was
the
the wristwatch.
Tarzan movies had contrails.
Yeah, Ben-Hur was the wristwatch.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Now, that's the thing, though, right? Is like, a lot of people don't know about that.
I would have never noticed it just watching the movie. I'm immersed in the movie. I don't care.
I don't think I think the really diehard Game of Thrones fans would have noticed that, but the regular everyday people who were just watching the show wouldn't have even noticed a coffee cup if it wasn't for the internet pointing out screenshots and detailed diagrams. Exactly. See, because that's the problem that we have now with this sort of stuff. Exactly the thing that Nick was talking about is like, no, the only reason people even notice that stuff is because everybody's talking about it constantly. There's so much information about the pop culture zeitgeist that you can't even, dude. As soon as an episode of something comes out, good luck. Like
about spoilers and stuff.
Not just spoilers. Even if they don't tell you the big twist of the episode, the big number one thing of the episode. Even if they don't tell you that, they're going to say something that about the episode online that is the idea of saying something that, oh man, you've got to see this episode. It's the best episode of the show yet. Well, you basically already kind of spoiled something for me. Or like if there's a continuity error, it gets blasted all over the internet. Like, this isn't a spoiler, but if you look in the background of this scene, you can see the wires that are controlling the puppet. Well, why did you tell me that? I don't want to know that. I just want to watch
Thunderbirds. I can see the wires anyway.
We're not talking about Thunderbirds, but yeah.
Oh, I'll talk about Thunderbirds all
Thunderbirds,
day.
Thunderbirds,
the original. I'll talk the Amazon.
Thunderbirds is a perfect example of exactly what I'm talking about. We don't care that we see the wires. Just let us watch. It
adds to the charm.
Show.
I think that's part of the choice of viewership. How we engage. We can anymore. I realize. Well, let's be honest. Most shows are fairly predictable. A big deal. I kind of want to throat punch M. Night Shyamalan sometimes, because after he started making movies, so many people were about, oh, now we have to add a twist. And it became like a necessary 2.5 act twist. Like right at the line between Act 2 and 3, you have to have that twist.
I don't know why.
So many plots where it's like they just added that for the twist. But even then, most of them are fairly predictable if they're at all well done.
I don't know why I'm having a delay tonight. It's very weird. I did not have a delay on Thursday, and I did not have a delay on Saturday. But now I have a delay right now, and it's
I'm waving at you.
It's so aggravating right now.
You've got something running.
I've restarted the computer. Literally, the only thing that's running.
Skunk, I had a problem today, and I've heard it's going around. If you use Dropbox, the Dropbox app, it's been resyncing cyclically. Because I was having a real similar problem with that. There's
I'm gonna start closing more stuff. Update. I mean, there's stuff that isn't even being used right now that is quote unquote open that wouldn't affect it because it was stuff that was open last time. And I'm just going to start closing all that stuff and see if it even helps. Let's close that. I will. Why is that? Okay. I think I might have found the culprit. Wait a minute.
What?
Hold on. Oh, well, there we go. I don't know what I closed, but that fixed it.
There you go. Your cake hole. No.
I'll put my Max Headroom cube back up now. Okay.
Oh,
There we
there's Mr. Brian K. Morris.
Yeah.
Were you not paying attention, Joe?
No, I was busy checking on some other stuff going in the background.
Well, you were asking Joe a minute ago. You were talking about what you call it,
Resident Alien.
Resident Alien. Yeah, and I have not watched it yet. But I'm very interested because I like the fish out of water story. You know, the fucking delays though.
It is absolutely hilarious.
Well, it's Alan Tudyk.
Yeah.
That helped.
I want to see it, but it also, I'm that guy. I don't, there was a term and I lost it for when you get embarrassed for someone who does something embarrassing.
I'll be right back.
Like you watch a show and it's really like cringe inducing. It's like, no thanks. I'm just going to walk out of the room now. And there's a lot of that humor to that, at least in the previews. Is it good, Joe?
Yes, it's good. There's a lot of that, but I wouldn't call it breaking the fourth wall more than just his inner voice being heard. And that makes it even better.
Well, Alan's one of the funniest men alive. I mean...
And on his Twitter account, he showed a picture of the Firefly cast, and he said somebody in this picture will be in next week's episode.
This right here is as how aggravating I found that delay to be. I don't know what's going on with OBS. OBS had a recent update, and I updated it. That's part of the problem. Pissed me off.
OBS is your problem.
Skunk, your background blends just enough. It looks like you aren't framed properly, and I absolutely love the effect.
That's why awesome. I chose that background specifically. John uploaded a bunch of backgrounds to our account. He's got a bunch on there, and I chose this one specifically because it was like, that's the background we already have. I'm just going to run with it. That'll be fine.
I absolutely love how it looks like you're just kind of digitally manifesting in the background.
That's what I want. That's what I want.
You know, it occurs to me, I haven't seen you in person yet, so I don't have any verified, like, first level advice, proof that you're actually an entity and not just some kind of sentient virus running amok on the net.
Well, I can prove that.
I'm joking with you, Skunk. It's okay.
No, I can prove I'm real. Ask me something that only a real person would know the answer to.
Oh, God. Quick, somebody hold up. Don't
pinch me, Skunk. Pinch me.
What?
Pinch him.
How can I do that? I'm on the internet.
Reach down and pinch.
Reach down and pinch me.
Okay, all right. Let's do that.
Ow.
Okay, there we go.
See? It's real.
I feel uncomfortable now.
That's like me and Nick trading hats the other night.
I need a wipe. Where's Sharona?
Put a little Windex on. Oh, that's cool.
Look at that. That's awesome.
Windex is blue.
You forgot Windex is blue.
It's a little bottle of Mars.
It's a Marzipan.
Man, you beat out Belle Delphine on sales. Oh
no! I do want to point out one thing that I have been on a kick lately. It's my own damn fault. And we'll go back to Resident Alien in a minute. I've been on a kick lately. It's my own damn fault. I've been watching clips from Monk.
Okay.
I forgot how good that show was. God, it was such a good show.
Does that make Dan Alice?
Well, no, we don't have 9 people. And Brian, we've had 9 people on the show before. We've literally done the Brady Bunch thing. It was fun.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
I'll be back.
I've
discovered a better parallel to Buck Rogers for the SpaceX rockets.
What?
Oh,
Yes. Instead of Buck Rogers, it's Rocky Jones Space Ranger.
yes.
The engines even sound the same.
Wow.
Now,
Wow.
you want to know something? Bucky Jones is one of Elon's
I'm pointing the
favorites.
wrong way. I'm point
Rocky
this way.
Jones.
I have to point this way.
Yeah.
Now, Joe,
Yeah.
we've gotten off tangent way too many damn times. You want to talk about Resident Alien. I want you to talk about Resident Alien because I love the fish out of water story. I think it's a great concept.
If I say much more, I'll start throwing spoilers. So I'm gonna.
Oh, son of a bitch!
It's that
So
good.
you know what you need to do, Skunk? After this broadcast, you need to hop on and watch some Resident Alien.
There's
Although
only
every
5
time I say
episodes.
Resident Evil just comes running out of my mouth,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking about Mila Jovovich, naked and
yeah.
confused, because that's how you can tell if a Resident Evil movie is good. The ones where it starts with her naked and confused is a good movie. The ones where she doesn't start naked and confused aren't as good in the series.
I wouldn't really care if she
I
was
wouldn't.
confused. It wouldn't concern me.
I wouldn't. What the fuck? No, okay. Nick took me in a completely different direction. By the way, okay. We're gonna talk about video game related media. I'm gonna rant. I'm gonna rant for a second.
You gonna hug yourself,
Joe
a
Dog,
giant vampire
Joe Dog,
lady?
can I rant? Joe Dog, can I rant for a minute?
Keep the language PG.
Sony is doing a Twisted Metal TV series. And let me collect my thoughts for a moment so that I can obey Joe Dog's ruling here. Sony is going to screw this up.
Of course, Sony's doing it.
Exactly. Sony owns the copyright to Twisted Metal. It is a PlayStation specific property. Twisted Metal is, and I love the concept behind the vehicular combat games.
Yeah.
I've always loved them, but I like Twisted Metal, and I love the characters in Twisted Metal. I don't like Twisted Metal's gameplay as much as I like Vigilante 8. Now, Vigilante 8 is my jam. I love Vigilante. Vigilante 8 was the reason I got a PlayStation, right? I so got a PlayStation just because of Vigilante 8. I literally was telling my dad, I was like, you got to see this game. You could drive a semi-truck, and you can shoot other stuff with the semi truck, and my dad was like, "We've got to get a PlayStation." Like he went out and he got one, and he bought a PlayStation and a copy of Vigilante 8 for me, and we played the crap out of Vigilante 8. We loved Vigilante 8. That was our game, man. Vigilante 8 was awesome. And then I found out later about Interstate 76, Interstate 82, and then of course Twisted Metal had already been out, and I'd already known about Twisted Metal, but I was like, whatever, creepy clown game. I don't, whatever. But then eventually I did get into Twisted Metal, and I love the character designs. I especially love one of the vehicles that has been in the game since the very beginning. Got a different driver later, and the driver is Dollface. And her whole entire thing is she's a supermodel, but her face was scarred from an accident. And so she wears a mask. It's like almost like a kabuki mask over her face, or like a geisha mask, right? And she never takes it off because she doesn't want anyone to see her ruined face. And she drives around in it's like a Peterbilt. It's like a 429 Peterbilt. Like she's awesome. I love her.
It's an awesome truck.
She's just one of my favorite
Metal
characters.
is great. Minion is still the best.
Minion is fantastic. Minion, by the way, if you guys don't know, this is why I wish John was here. Minion drives an APC.
Can I answer something Willow said? Well,
Sure.
Skunk's drinking. She said, for once when Resident Evil comes out of a guy's mouth, can we talk about how great the video games were and not Naked Mila? I want to qualify my statement. I wasn't lusting after Mila Jovovich. I was using that as. I'm not saying she's not attractive, but if you look at the quality of the movies in the Resident Evil series, the ones where they kept with the trope where she started out at the beginning, it's almost like a flag. They were the better written in the series and made more sense. But Resident Evil games are great. They are fabulous, and I love where the new games are starting to spin off to more supernatural horror. Although I love the corporate evil. Because the thing about Resident Evil that I found scary was not the freaking zombies or, the lickers or all that. That's scary, sure. But the idea of omnipresent uber corporations that could, effectively cover up a town getting nuked for, a zombie outbreak and people actually buy it, that's amazing. That's just next level oppression.
Well, Nick,
and Willow, I've never played the games. I've never seen the movies. He just likes Mila Jovovich. I only know her from Fifth Element. That's it.
And
yes,
guys,
Multi-pass.
guys who, and I don't want to point this out, guys who have never played the games, she's not even in the games. That character doesn't exist in the games. So when we talk about Mila Jovovich character Atlas in the Resident Evil series, that's literally just the films. The games, on the other hand, are much more terrifying than the movies were.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Scott, you said a name, and it reminded me of a upcoming theme for Halicon for 22 or 23.
Well,
when
don't
said,
don't say it here.
Yes, I'm going to say it.
Okay.
When you said doll face, one of the things I want to do is get a bunch of baby dolls to put through the con suite.
I'm already terrified of what your idea is.
It's a Beatles album cover, I do.
Oh God, yeah, it's true. We talked about that last week.
Yes, we did.
No, what I was going to say about the Twisted Metal show, right? And this is the thing. Sony.
What? Oh,
in the past, Sony in the past.
I heard creepy dolls. I'm sorry. I heard creepy dolls mentioned, and then this eerie whispering.
Well, that's Heather hitting a vape.
Static noise.
Well, Twisted Metal.
Nope.
Twisted Metal.
Nope.
Twisted Metal in the past.
I'm armed. I ain't playing. I'm not going down quiet, folks. I'll break some dolls. I'm okay with that. Sorry, Scott.
Oh, so you're not coming to that Halicon. All right, Nick.
The only way it'd be better
you got to make him to get the stuff on her.
Yeah,
all over the place.
So the past few Twisted Metal games, and not,
Yeah.
and I mean, okay, it's the same thing as it is with Silent Hill, right? The first 4 Silent Hill games were good, but once the original team stopped making the games, they got really bad, and then they made some movies, and the movies were also really bad because they made movies. And the original team wasn't involved, and that's the problem with Twisted Metal. So only the first 2 or 3, I can't remember which. Only the first 2 or 3, I think it's the first 3 games were made by the original Twisted Metal team. And then after that, Sony took over, and they started doing stupid stuff with it. And by the time you got to, like Twisted Metal 4 was really bad. And then after that, you got to what was the last one? Twisted Metal Black, where it was like you didn't even have a full cast of characters. There was like 3 characters. You could basically play as Mr. Grimm, Dollface, or Sweet Tooth, and their minions, and that was it. and it was really weird, and there were like mech battles and stuff. And I was like,
yeah,
go back to the original. Go back to the original game. Go back to the original, like driving around. You drive around and you shoot stuff. That's what I want. That's why I like Vigilante 8. Vigilante 8 never changed. In fact, the creators, Activision / Luxaflux, the original creators of Vigilante 8, who were inspired, and I think some of the team members were even from the teams that created Interstate 76 and Interstate 82. Not only did they make Vigilante 8 and Vigilante 8 Second Offense, they also made a Star Wars game using the same engine where you could literally drive around in like land speeders and AT-ATs and shoot at each other with them. And it was boss. And it was a really good game. Well, you know, that's what it comes down to. When you want to have a good game, you have a formula and you stick to it. And that's the problem with Sony. Sony doesn't know how to... Sony has to meddle with things. It's the same problem that Fox has with television shows. You know, oh, the show is great. It's amazing. It's wonderful. It's the best exactly thing. Right. Here's everything that you need to change. You know what I mean? And so somebody at Sony always has to meddle with things. So if they're going to do a TV show based off of Twisted Metal, it's not going to be Twisted Metal. You know what we're going to end up getting? We're going to end up getting Fury Road with better cars. And they're going to completely change Sweet Tooth into being like a hero or something, or like a misunderstood villain. It's going to be Nightmare on Elm Street, the remake again. Okay. It's going to... I was this close, Joe. I was this close, Joe.
Yeah. Skunk, you hit two really quality points in the middle of that tirade. First off, there's a in the video games and movies too, where they add needless complexity, and that was a big trend. If you're talking video games from the PS1 era on, where they had solid games with solid systems, and then they added things that complicated it. Like what they did to the Armored Core series made it pretty much unplayable. You know, when you compare the
3 onward?
Yep. You know, Master of the Arena was great. But I tell you what, Skunk, look up Front Mission Evolved. I was mad originally, and I boycotted the game because it wasn't what the original Front Mission game was. But it actually turned out to be the best Armored Core clone that had come out since like Armored Core 3. The other thing you hit on that really is one of my great cheesy points, one of the points that gets me ranting, is it is okay to have unredeemable villains, guys. Like, if we can put this out in TV, in movies, I hear it all the time, like, you know, we'll have great villains, and then they're like, oh, but they have to be redeemable. Oh, they must have an arc of humanity. No! What we need is Vincent freaking Price to rise up from the dead and start just showing what evil's supposed to be, a smooth, refined evil.
No, Nick, I'm sorry. I have to stop you right there. Because the Monster Club, I think it was called. There's been a few, but Monster Club is the one that came to mind. I think that's what it was called. Where Vincent Price isn't that guy. He's he
had roles outside of it, and I will admit it. But when Vincent Price was being evil, he was evil. I'm not saying the actor had the range not out of it, but
there's a movie I'm thinking of. Where Vincent Price is I want to say it was Vincent Price and Boris Karloff, and he's right in his face, and he's giving him the business about every horrible, awful thing he's going to do to him, and it's one of the most chilling scenes in cinema history. I think it was him and Karloff.
Karloff and Price made some great classic movies. And
yes, that's what makes narrowing down what Skunk is talking about. So
yeah, I'm going to have to look this up.
And like comedic, because they were in The Raven, they were in Comedy of Terrors. If you get a chance to see a Comedy of Terrors, it's got Vincent Price.
It's a Peter Lorre, Boris Karloff,
and Basil Rathbone?
Yes, Basil Rathbone.
Just I mean, it is a dark comedy about undertakers who are bolstering their, when times get tight, they just generate new customers. And it is hilarious. It's one of the funniest pieces of dark film. Like, you gotta be a little messed up to get it, but boy, like, I laughed hysterically. It's like a cross between Benny Hill and the Magnus Archives. But, wow.
I can't remember what movie it is, but I swear, if it's not Vincent Price in that role, it has to be
Christopher Lee.
No, I was gonna say Lon Chaney. Because I just remember him sitting there and just giving Karloff the business and just being like, I'm going to strip the skin from your bones, and just I mean, absolutely evil. And he ends. I remember he ends this diatribe that he has. He ends this diatribe with being like, if you. It was something along the lines of like, and when you think that you've gotten to the brink of death, I will be waiting for you, and you will never forget me, sort of thing. It was very dark and very
I remember the tirade because I remember thinking that's my second favorite version of that tirade. My first being the Jimmy Stewart Terror of the Treasure of the Sierra Madre, where he's like, where he's been betrayed and they're like chained up and they're leaving him. And he goes, for the rest of your life, you're gonna be around the campfire looking in the dark, and one of these nights I'll be there. And it just, to have Jimmy Stewart, who everybody thinks, I'm going to Washington. Oh, look, it's Nike, old man.
Oh, if everybody could do an impression of Jimmy Stewart.
But, to just be like, I'm going to kill you. It's like, yes! Hardcore Jimmy Stewart is a great thing that there never was enough of. And now I want to watch The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance.
Now, y'all got to remember, I am a child of the 1980s.
You are definitely a child.
All right. And let me tell y'all something, okay? To me, the pinnacle of just the most evil, diabolical, whenever this guy plays evil, it's always evil. It's always sinister. It's never it can get fun in a macabre way, but it's never played. It's never played for laughs. It's never played for. He's just, when he's evil, he turns it up to 11, and that's it. And that is my man Robert Englund.
Oh, Robert Englund. Okay.
I thought you were going to say William Dafoe.
No, because William Dafoe is very funny, and Morgan Shepard's very funny too. Both of them have played evil characters where they're goofy. Even Freddy, Freddy at his goofiest was still absolutely sinister, and that's what I love about Freddy. That's why I thought Jackie Earle Haley is whatever. I don't care.
I'm sorry, I just heard. Like,
I think Heather had her.
Heather's muted.
I just muted her. She's
got her phone volume up.
Yeah, she was checking.
It turned out to sound like a weird
Busted.
Yeah. There is breaking news on SN10.
It blew up. Did they find out why it blew up?
Actually, thrust puck failure.
Oh man, that looks like some of my car engines.
Yeah.
When it bounced, the thruster hit the ground.
Yeah. What the engines are mounted to here, you see that sort of circular thing? That's supposed to be welded to another piece.
Now,
it broke clean. And if anybody was watching the broadcast, I said that looks like thrust puck failure.
Mm-hmm. Fuel dump. Hot metal.
Can I bring up something? Can I bring up something that was brought up in the chat earlier?
Sure.
Let me see if I can find it.
Was it about Space 99 being the first?
Carl said this. He said,
"Oh yeah,
YouTube took my comment off because it said Redneck Rampage." Now, Redneck Rampage, it was a build engine game. It was a build engine game. Build was the same engine that they used for Duke Nukem 3D, Blood and Shadow Warrior. Redneck Rampage is kind of the just use sort of the terminology that they would use, the inbred cousin of what people, especially Civ 11, would refer to as the Holy Trinity. Redneck Rampage, you literally were a hillbilly, right, who was going up against an alien invasion that was mutating other hillbillies into like mutant zombie things. And
sounds like an H.P. Lovecraft story.
Well, Dan, you personally would love this character. He's such a goober, and it's great. Because one of the big things about the build games is that the characters that you played as in all of the build games were always very vocal. So like Duke Nukem, you'd blow something up and he'd be like, blow it out your ass, or if you play as Lo Wang in Shadow Warrior, he would be all like, I feel like Hiroshima in here when he shoots off a nuke or whatever, right? Caleb in Blood would be all like, another one for the blood bank, sort of thing. And the guy in Redneck Rampage would be like, woo-wee, I'm happier than a pig in crap. He's awesome. I love that game. I thought Redneck Rampage was a hoot. It was a hoot and a half. It was so good. Yeah, the alien stole his cow. I forgot about that, Carl. I haven't played that game in like 20 years. I was really hoping because all the build games got HD re-releases. Duke Nukem 3D, Blood, and Duke Nukem 3D, Blood, and Shadow Warrior all got HD re-releases. And I was really hoping they'd do the same thing with Redneck Rampage, because holy crap, Redneck Rampage is such a good game. Yeah, okay, pork rinds was an item in the game that you could eat for health. You had there was all sorts of fun stuff. I remember the one of the levels in the very first episode was the it was like oh God, what was it? It was Chuck's Bar and Ill.
Yeah, Joe's powering up.
Because the grill, the G and R from grill was missing, so it just said Bar and Ill. And it was on it was one of those you put the letters up on the sign, one of the marquee signs. Oh, that was such a fun game.
Lewis, please add Marvin the Martian to the background somewhere in there. If you're gonna keep swiping this, what I really need is the shadows from Babylon 5 getting dug out of Mars. But if
not 2 seconds, 2 minutes. You know what I meant.
Well, that's 4K video, so I'm not going to be editing that, but I'll dumb it down to 1080 and add some stuff.
Oh God!
I think one of the best
animated Marvin Martian.
I think one of the pictures I've seen was the Ferengi.
Oh yes, run off the rover, yeah. Salvage goods.
Willow Schuyler said, reference Boondock Saints, talking about William Dafoe as a great villain.
It's Willem, not William. Willem. My wife makes that mistake all the time.
It's Willem, and I'm so speech impediment happy. But there was a gunfight is one of the most beautiful. Like, if you ever want to see Sherlock mid one of his drug-fueled rages that they never talked about, it would be that right there. Skunk, are you okay?
I just thought about something when I was in the toilet. Daniel.
If you shake it more than twice, you're playing with yourself.
Actually, I do want to point out one thing. Dan, you need to play Blood. Well, let me paint the picture for you, okay? Let me paint the picture of Blood for you, Dan. You play as a 1930s gunslinger who has been chosen by a Lovecraftian horror to be the one who brings in a new, like a new universe, right? But you're betrayed by that Lovecraftian horror, murdered, buried alive while you're dying, and you come back as an undead specter to get revenge on the cult because they killed your wife.
It is
one of the
right up my alley.
One of the coolest games in the world.
Radio program.
One of the coolest games in the world. One of the things you can do in this game, Dan. One of the things you can do in this game, Dan, which is what I love this game so much for, is that you can, if you get a special power up, you can wield double barrel shotguns akimbo, one in each hand, and you're murdering Lovecraftian cultists and zombies and demons, like the whole entire game, and it's amazing. Blood is Dan, you need to check Blood out. Blood is right up your alley. I will point out though, it is one of the hardest first-person shooters in the world. Like, when I say it's hard, I'm talking about people who are pros at this game can't even play on the hardest difficulty because the hardest difficulty is designed for multiplayer. It's that hard. It's a tough game.
You're going, if you got a double barrel shotgun in each hand, how do you reload?
Magically.
It would have to be
pelvic thrust.
Well, the
pouch opens. It shoots the.
I can tell you how to reload if you've got pump action shotguns in each hand. I can tell you how to reload those because I played the Punisher game on PlayStation 3. And it's really cool when you see Frank Castle throw two pump action shotguns in the air at the same time, grab them by the reloading grips, and go, and then catch him again, and then he holds them out like this. It's amazing.
I've seen it done.
I've tried to do it since I played that game. Since I played that game, I've tried to do it, and I nearly broke this wrist.
What,
Lewis?
You took me off camera.
My dealer showed up.
Yeah, Lewis's dealer showed up.
But I almost broke this wrist trying to do it.
See, I have a buddy
Lewis,
of mine.
I'll say a Hail Mary.
No. Lewis? Thin Mints or Ginger Snaps or I walk.
Hi, skunk.
Thin Mints are upstairs, man. This is all I can sneak down.
I'm very particular about my Girl Scout cookies. Tagalongs ain't. Well, tagalongs are okay. I'm okay with tagalongs. But I do love me some Thin Mints and some Ginger Snaps.
My wife was upstairs watching the 30th anniversary of The Real World, so I was able to sneak these out of the kitchen. And 30th anniversary of The Real World, they put all these people back together in the same apartment. I'm like, okay, so they're in their 50s and they're living commune style?
No, Lewis. It's not like that. It's not like that at all. But that's very funny. Oh,
now
the real world. The real world is like it's like Survivor or Big Brother. They change the cast every season, and I don't even think the real world's been on for the past.
They're doing a real world reunion show.
Yeah, that's what it's got to be. Yeah.
See, no, what they need to do. I want to see a Survivor one. Okay, Survivor on an island. The $1 million is on a briefcase. In a briefcase in the middle of the island, everybody gets a cut on the arm and is dropped in shark-infested waters about a quarter mile off the island. Go get it.
Well, before
cameras everywhere, hands
before
off.
before you turned it into Battle Royale there, I was going to say, no, a few seasons ago, they did have, and I know this because my stepmom is a huge fan of Survivor. They did have the reunion season where they brought back the cast of the original first season of Survivor and said, okay, you're doing it again. And let me put it this way. Some of the people that were on Survivor in the first season didn't have the chops to keep up in the second return season. And some of the people that used to be crap at the first season, they were ready for it. They apparently that first season pissed them off so much that they decided to get in shape.
Yeah. I don't know who Facebook user is because their cookies were forgotten by StreamYard.
Well, I can find out.
You can go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and re-grant permissions or grant permissions. And
so you can't talk about cookies until you restore your cookies.
Yep.
By the way, Brian, bring Cookie home so that everyone can talk about Cookie talking about her cookies while we try to get cookies.
Hashtag don't die. Wait a minute. I'll just do it.
That's not. Stop.
Hey, Joe, if you enter it now, it'll hit halfway through tomorrow's broadcast.
Wow.
I don't know. Me and Skunk got the joke. I don't think Lewis did.
Oh.
Well, now Lewis doesn't watch Nevermind the Furthermore. He's not a Nevermorian. He could be though if he watches. And Joe, I just realized we didn't do something. We didn't do something. We have to do this.
Oh yeah, do it. You read it this time.
Oh, absolutely. I absolutely will. Ladies and gentlemen, Stupid O'Clock and Armchair Rocket Science are proud members of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. As you can see, we have our program schedule right here in front of you. Take a screenshot of that, and you will know all about the wonderful programs that are on the Rising Tide Broadcast Network, because the Rising Tide raises all ships. All times here are Eastern, so if you live in Central or even Pacific, you will know what time this is supposed to be. Adjust accordingly. On Sunday, we have Comics, Chaos, and Sass at 10 p.m. on Facebook. On Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we have Nevermind the Furthermore at 10 a.m. with Brian K. Morris. On Tuesday, we have Clever Title Pending at 8 p.m., which is at on both Facebook and YouTube. We have TED Talks at 10 a.m. With Ted Davies, who was watching earlier. I don't know if he's still here, but hopefully he is, because Ted's a wonderful dude. On Thursdays, we have Creative as Hell with Amy Hale and Comic Book Spectrum at 8 p.m. and 7 p.m. respectively. Both wonderful shows. On Fridays, we also have Michaela Jade's Tidbits and Scribbles at 7 p.m. on YouTube. And by the way, if you watch Michaela's YouTube channel, if you follow that, you will also notice that she does put up stuff throughout the week. So definitely follow and watch that. That's wonderful stuff. At 8 p.m. on Facebook, we have the Historical Fencing Guild. What?
It's on YouTube.
Okay. That's right. That's right. The icon's wrong. I forgot about that. Thank you, Nick.
Sorry.
Historical Fencing Guild on YouTube with Nick Talkert, who's one of the people that's here tonight and is usually here, actually. He's a wonderful guest of ours, a good friend of the show. And, of course, on Saturday, we also have another Stupid O'Clock at 11 p.m. And Armchair Rocket Science will air whenever launches are scheduled by NASA, SpaceX, or Blue Origin. If you want more information about this, you can go to www.facebook.com/The Rising Tide Broadcast Network. And if you need any more information, you can ask me, you can ask Joe, you can ask Brian K. Morris, or you can ask Nick Talkert. I would recommend not asking. Definitely don't ask. I was trying to think of somebody that would be funny to bring up, but I can't think of anybody. So
Christian Basil? No.
Christian Basil. Yeah. No, you can ask Christian Basil. You can ask Christian. Christian knows a lot about the Rising Tide Network. I was trying to think of something like, don't ask George Clooney. Don't ask George Clooney. George Clooney is only going to tell you about 3 things. He used to be Batman. He used to be Danny Ocean, and he used to be in in space. Oh, hey, it's Brandon. Okay. I was trying to look it up when all of that was going on, Heather. Thank you so much. Brandon, you need to redo the thing with StreamYard. You need to go back to the StreamYard link.
Permission.
Joe, Joe, put the link up, please.
Also on that Rising Tide thing, Armchair Rocket Science doesn't broadcast on YouTube.
Oh, well.
Why not?
Just letting the peoples know.
We can't.
They can't go look at YouTube for us.
Change its stupid graphic again?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. We can just say, hey, Facebook only.
It's really not fine. Remember what I said earlier about me being a big fan of Monk?
I'm gonna have to go watch this show.
My OCD is kicking in with that.
I thought Monk was punching down a little bit. You know what I mean? It occasionally felt like it was just a little bit punching down.
I'm not as hard. Obviously, I'm not as hardcore OCD as Monk is. I mean, if anybody who knows me knows how, like look, I got bottle caps lying around. I'm dropping them on the floor. Look, I even have a big one. You know, I rarely throw anything away. I'm a big hoarder. But when it comes to stuff like this, I'm very OCD about it. It drives me up a wall. I'm like, I want to fix it, but I can't because it's not my intellectual property. I didn't do it. I can't touch it, but I have to. It has to be correct. It drives me. When it comes to designing things, I literally have to I can't. I tell you what, this is a true story. Anybody want to hear a true story about my OCD getting the better of me and getting me to a lot of trouble?
What?
I don't think we have a choice.
You have a choice.
No, I'm being facetious. Why?
You can always say you don't want to.
I'm poking fun. I'm just adding flavor text as we go live from Mars.
Well, no, Lewis is live from Mars. I'm live from the clock
where
factory,
I am.
Apparently.
The letters are actually blue, so I'm trying to get it to a point where you can see Mars in the letter.
You can see the mountain line.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Got it.
But
I got so distracted by that, I accidentally drank out of a beer. I put a cigarette out in. Fresh beer.
I'm so happy
there
I
are some
don't have to
vices
worry
that aren't
about
better
that
together. This has been a PSA by Skunk of Stupid O'Clock.
I'm so happy I don't have to worry about that anymore.
I think I killed Joe. Anyway, listen. Here's my point in this. All right. I have a buddy of mine who I love this guy dearly. All right. I'll go with his professional wrestling name, Aaron Wade. He's a wonderful guy. He's a great dude. He really is. One of the he can be an ass sometimes, but he's an ass with a heart of gold, just like we all are. He's one of those guys. You know what I'm talking about. It picks on you because he loves you, sort of thing, right? And he's just a really sweet guy, and he has a great love for the professional wrestling business, right? Really wonderful dude. The problem is that he is the kind of dude who God, how can I put this nicely? Well, you guys understand. You get what you pay for, right?
Great song.
And he'd gotten some artwork for it was a design for a T-shirt that he had. It was going to be printed through a major pro wrestling T-shirt company. Okay. Right, we're talking about like pro wrestling tees, and pro wrestling tees has shirts in Hot Topic. I've bought some of their Hot Topic shirts. Like PWT is they've got some pull. If you're a popular enough wrestler, you can actually have your shirts sold in actual physical brick and mortar locations. That's how big this company is, right? So with that being said, the artwork that he got for this shirt offended me on multiple levels. First of all, it wasn't original artwork. It was something that was painted over. Basically, this guy who did the artwork for my friend took a piece of clip art and painted over it. And then he didn't even do a good job. He did such a horrible job, and my OCD kicked in. And when I say that, I mean literally, my OCD kicked in when he showed me the artwork, and I was like, "You got to fix this. You got to fix this. You got to fix this. Like, this is bad. This is horrible. This is the worst thing ever. Nobody's gonna like this, right?" And it was. I mean, literally, I had brainworms. I was like, dude, listen. I'm gonna tell you right now. I said, I will pay a friend of mine. I have a friend of mine who is a professional artist, like a literal professional art. This dude makes his living drawing art. I'm talking $150 plus commissions. He will give me the brother discount and only charge me like $50-$70 to redo this artwork so that A, it looks nice, B, it's original, and C, you will own the copyright to it. And it will be good. It will be amazing. It'll be fantastic. I can show you some of the art he's done for me. The guy is a brilliant, he's a legend. Please, for the love of God, let me pay for this. And Wade said no because he didn't want to hurt the guy he got the art from. He didn't want to hurt his feelings. And I drove me up a wall. When he got the shirts printed, people were wearing them and going like, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with these shirts. They're perfectly fine." And I was just no, they weren't. No, they're not. They're not fine. They're bad. They're bad shirts. They're bad. It's a bad design. It's bad oh my God. When it comes to design stuff, my OCD just and I don't mean to bring this up as like I want to make Lewis feel bad. No, it's not that at all. It's just when I do find out about stuff like that, I'm like, I want to fix it. I want to. Train? Did anybody hear that?
Are you hallucinating? We all heard it.
Okay.
It's literally like a block from me.
Oh, okay. I was freaking out. I was like, what the f-
It's okay.
you know what I'm saying?
Was it my grandmother?
You know what I'm saying though? It's like a
Your mic didn't mute, Blake.
Yeah, your mic didn't mute. It is a very it's a very uncomfortable feeling of seeing something and being like, I can totally fix that. Please let me fix that. And knowing I don't have the power to fix that. I don't know. It does something to me. It's just that's my OCD. That's my literal, I need to touch it, sort of thing. Just like in the TV show, Monk could not go without touching lamps. He had to touch. If you saw a lamp, he had to touch it. And I'm the same way with designs. I have to fix it. It drives me that.
Well, don't feel bad, Skunk. I got in trouble at Walmart for zoning.
You do that too. Oh my God! If I see a section of Walmart or any department, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be Walmart. Any store I'm going through, and I see a section where somebody has knocked over a bunch of stuff and they didn't pick it up. Right? It's still on the shelf, but it's knocked over. I have to fix it. I have to fix it, and I have to put it in order. And my boss asked me this the other day. This is true. She asked me this the other day. She was like, why in the world do you spend so much time organizing? Like, why don't you just throw everything in your van? Why do you organize it? I'm like, because it has to be right.
Mm-hmm.
It can't not be right. It has to be the light stuff on the top, the heavy stuff on the bottom, because if it's not like that, it's wrong. And she didn't understand, and I tried to explain it to her. Like, if I have to slam out my brakes, the whole entire thing's gonna shift. And because all the heavy, if the heavy stuff's on top and the light stuff's on the bottom, it's top heavy. It'll fall over. And she didn't understand. She's like, just throw it in the van and go. And I'm like, no, it has to be right. It has to be right. Facing and zoning is the same thing, Carl.
Yeah,
same terminology.
That was my job for a long time. I was basically a hardware librarian for 2 different Home Depots at the same time. And at one point in my life, I knew where every single item in 2 separate layout stores at a Home Depot was. I could tell, and I don't mean like I could go by rote, which bay, which shelf, and usually its position. Sometimes I actually knew its a shelf number just because I did it so much. So yeah, I get it.
Nick, do you remember that episode of Beavis and Butthead where Tom Anderson was trying to get Spanish tiles for his house? And he goes up to the help counter. He's at like a Costco style place. And he goes up to the help counter. It's like, can you help me find Spanish tiles? And the guy is like, for the last time, Mr. Anderson, I told you need to go to aisle Q. Row 17, shelf 19, area Q. You know, like he's giving him all these instructions that don't make any sense, but he knew exactly where they were, right? And Tom Anderson's still walking around.
Hello, from the top down.
Hello.
Hey,
where are the Spanish tiles at? I need to fix my roof. Hello, right? And the guy knew exactly where they were, and he was so frustrated that Tom couldn't figure out a simple instruction, but it really is like that. Like when I used to work at Best Buy, obviously now
it's a planogram.
Yeah, exactly.
When obviously you learn planograms, you can't not think
exactly.
I actually have trouble as a librarian not switching in planogram mode when I'm putting stuff away.
When I worked,
they just. We move stuff. It's a little library, so we reshelve, like, as new books come in, stuff moves, and it almost hurts because my boss, I love her, she's a great lady, but she'll randomly say, this isn't quite right, and we need to reorganize it, and my brain just kind of, like...
Let me tell you how bad with like that sort of stuff, my OCD. And again, I'm not like OCD, like everything needs to be clean. Like I'm not that guy. Like I don't give a crap. But look, my ashtray still has cigarette butts in it. I don't care.
Yeah, but they're all organized by size, color, and smell.
I will point out that they're all on. I will point out they are all on one side of the ashtray, which probably says something. But anyway, no, I've talked about this before. In a storage unit, semi-truck trailers, 53-foot trailer at Mike's house that me and my dad's using it for storage, right? Inside of there is a cabinet. And inside of this cabinet is what used to be my dad's vinyl record collection. It's now my vinyl record collection.
A little tiny toy.
Right? It's all the vinyl records that my dad and my mom purchased over the years. They own my dad got custody of that in the divorce, and then my dad gave it to me. And I can tell you for a fact, I know for a fact, every single one of those vinyl records is in alphabetical order. You know how I know that? Because I put them in alphabetical order because I couldn't stand the fact that they worked. And I put them in alphabetical order by artist. I put them in alphabetical order by artist and an album title.
That's the way you do it. That's the way you do it. Carleen said something. Our library is in my version of the Dewey no decimal system.
Let me correct you real quick. I want to correct you real quick, Nick.
Private library.
That's the wrong way of doing it. I should have put it in order by artist and then album release date. I know that now. I will fix that as soon as the record collection is back in my property again. Once it's here in the apartment, I'm going to fix that because it's wrong and it's driving me nuts that it's wrong.
You
2
know
hours
what?
away.
Scott, do you know how badly I want to wake
I put
up
my stuff
early
in
in the morning
collection.
and just message you to remind you now that your library, that your record collection is wrong and there's nothing you can do about it? Like, the evil part of me that I would never let loose is really I don't want to because that would start a range war. But mutual assured destruction, I understand that.
Well,
But,
Nick, I've got nothing on you. So you are right now. You got to understand, Nick. Right now, you are the United States. I'm Cuba.
Really high right now.
Cheers.
With communist leanings, but the music's pretty good.
And all the classic cars, yeah.
Yeah, classic car. I mean, there's much to be said. No,
I have no problem with Cuba. I have every problem with Cuba's government, but let's not get political.
I just found out, surprisingly, Amazon Prime has released Coming to America a day early.
Mm-hmm.
wow.
Coming to America.
Yeah, Coming to America too.
Returning to America.
Yeah.
Well, I'm okay. I'm okay with the idea of them doing a sequel to a movie that didn't deserve a sequel, as long as the sequel is good.
Oh, sweet summer child.
Oh, Nick, no, I think you know exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
Right? If they do a sequel to a movie that didn't deserve a sequel and the sequel is good, I'm perfectly okay. I'm content with that. It's okay. It's when they do a sequel to a movie that didn't deserve a sequel and the sequel blows, then I have a problem with it. Because I'm like, they shouldn't have done that.
Like Darkman.
Exactly.
Blake is internet.
Blake,
Blake.
Blake. 2 or 3?
Yes.
Oh, go to hell.
I'm back.
Blake, 2 is good.
2 is pretty
Two is
good in the scheme of things, but 3 not so much.
3
I'd rather read the comics backwards.
I will say this: 3 has the best ending. It's the rest of the movie that sucks.
Jeez.
No, wait. I mean, let me rephrase.
That might be bigger than the entire collection of the library I work at.
3 has the best.
It's a little tiny Carnegie, but that's real close to how many holdings we have.
Blake, 3 has the best ending between
I personally
parts
have
2 and 3.
10,000 books.
So, yes, I've seen pictures of Dan's library. It's incredible.
It's in about 4 different.
4 different proofs. That's all I heard.
4 different rooms.
It's 4 different rooms. Yeah, no, I've seen pictures. Dan's library would drive me nuts. It's what I'm gonna say. With all of my
Dan is not a
organizing
linear
tendencies.
thinker.
Because I've seen Dan's library or I've seen all parts of it, and I'm like, why the fuck is this not in one room? Like, this needs to all be in one room, and it needs to be organized. And it's just,
because some books are living room books. Now, home libraries are all about access and cross-reference. Because I've got my practical application books. I've got my reading for pleasure books. We used to have a rack of the bathroom books for when you don't feel good before our phones were smart. And
well, you want to know how both organized and disorganized I am, Nick. Do you want to know? Do you really want to know? Because I'll tell you. This is how organized, disorganized I am. I'm so organized that when I was moving stuff around in the apartment and figuring out exactly what I needed to put where, what I needed to do, I was like, you know what? I need another bookshelf for all of my books. Because I don't want to put the books on my old bookshelf. What I was using as a bookshelf. I want to use that shelf to display my skunk collection because I haven't been able to do that in several years. So I need a new bookshelf because I got so many more books. I have so many more books because of a friend of mine and Joe's and J.R. Holton. I bought his entire bibliography at the time. And so I have a ton of books now, so I need an extra bookshelf. So I said, okay, I need an extra bookshelf so I can get organized. So all of my books can be organized. So I can know what books that I have. You know, books that are range from everything from I have all the Doom novels to my Stephen King books to all of my comics to my hazmat materials handling guide, you know, stuff like that, right? But here's how disorganized I am. I bought a bookshelf that required a hammer for installation, and I had to call my ex-boyfriend over because I was like,
"Yeah, you told me about that.
I need a hammer
because it sounded like the beginning of one of my friend, my friend Kivran's.
I talked about this on Brian's show. I talked about this on Brian's show. I said I needed my ex-boyfriend to come over and bring me a hammer so I could put together a bookshelf. That's how disorganized I am. I don't even own a hammer, and I own books I've never read.
People need to understand that owning and collecting books and reading the books you own are two entirely different.
Lewis
the Dark Lord of the Abyss, Lewis, has joined us.
Lewis, that chair makes you look like Satan.
The fact that he... what he said was Scottish.
This is a previously unknown area of Mars.
Wait, I got to call Tom out. Lewis, by any chance, is that a live video?
No.
Okay. Because you have that capability, and as long as you were gone, you could have a fire lit.
No, this is a video of a campfire.
Okay.
Lewis, I do want to apologize for that comment. I hope I didn't mean any offense. Because after I said it, I thought about it for a minute, and I was like, oh, shit, he's religious. I don't want to offend anybody.
The neat thing about Lewis is when you offend him, it's very brutally, instantly apparent. And I enjoy people like that. I mean, it's not that I don't respect Guile. I just get tired of it. I've watched him get annoyed. And fun thing, micro expressions. There's a universal micro expression. For when you're annoyed, you'll start doing this. And I keep pig, you know, because Lewis is the king of this number. And it's always good when it comes up. I also check if I'm talking too much and I see Lewis do that, I take that as the directorial cue to shut up and or change the subject.
Well, it's like
I had an idea recently. I floated it kind of in front of Joe, but Lewis wasn't here at the time, so I do want to float it in front of Lewis and ask him. How would you feel if I did a show? If I did it Crossfire style, for example, you remember Crossfire on CNN?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant.
Would you be interested in joining in on that?
That depends on the topic. I mean, you know, I'm fine arguing a topic that I'm really familiar with, but you know, like I think that's where Nick was picking up on my facial expressions. You know, for about the last hour, there hasn't really been anything of
every once in a while
anything that I feel comfortable discussing. The last video game I played was Tron.
Yeah.
Well, this particular show, this was something I floated in front of Joe a while back. And it was specifically politics. an arena for people to get their politics out there. And my first thought was that everybody knows my politics. I'm horrible. Everybody knows that. I wanted to have some real intellectual, smart guys who knew their stuff, right? And there were two names that popped up into my head immediately of guys I would want to have on the show who know their stuff and would be great for discussing these sort of things. Lewis, you were one of them. You were one of the guys that I thought of that I was like, man, if I could get Lewis on that show, that would be awesome, because Lewis could could tell his side, and he could argue it, and he could do it with some emphasis and with clarity, and be able to put his side out there. And not gonna lie, I'd probably 90% agree with Lewis over the other guy, but I'm not gonna say what the other guy's name is. I'm gonna keep that to myself, because I know you and I we generally agree on politics.
Or style and panache.
Thank you, Dan. Dan can talk for me sometimes.
Yeah. Hey. Honestly, Skunk,
I think sometimes that my politics have changed, but when I really look at it deeply, my politics didn't change. The party changed.
Thank you.
Exactly.
I feel the same way.
It's not the same party that when I started voting back in the 80s, well, 70s. It's not the same party that it was, and it's been hijacked.
You know, Lewis.
Factions.
Lewis, I want to point out something real quick. It's not the same party it was when I started voting.
That's true. I mean, it was. Well, I won't go into details because we do try to keep this show apolitical.
Now,
it's just
apolitical. That applies to both major parties, I think.
Yeah.
Not the extremes.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do find that I'm a very moderate, and we'll just leave it there. Both, to varying discrete. It seems like there's so much polarity in representation of ideas instead of a simple, hey, let's do common sense.
Yeah.
And here's some
both parties are guilty of hypocrisy.
Yes.
Thank you. And that was why I was wanting to do that's why I was thinking about doing a political show.
In my eye, Nick. That wasn't
No, the one who wants to do that is Joe. He's been trying to talk for the last 5 to 10 minutes. What's up, Joe?
If Skunk wants to do a show like that, he needs to do it like point counterpoint.
Oh, well, are we talking about point counterpoint from Saturday Night Live?
Yes.
Jane, you ignorant.
Damn, you selfish bastard.
Yeah. It's got to be like that. If you could get a show like that, run it on YouTube, I guarantee you.
There's no way. There is no way. There is no way because you
Did you just put that bottle cap in the clock?
Yes. There's no way that I can do that, Joe Dog. There's no way I can do that. And you want to know why there's no way I can do that?
Why?
Because you remember how I was just discussing how I had 2 people in mind for this show that I definitely wanted to have on, and one was Lewis. Because the other person that I had in mind, there's no way that person could at all have a sense of humor. I know the man too well. I'm just like, he has no sense of humor.
I will ask you a question. What would you bring to that party there, Skunk? I mean, because your personality doesn't usually manifest as a moderator very much.
Oh, I am.
He would be less moderator and more ringmaster.
Exactly. It would be more like that. The idea, my political ideals, my political ideas can be summed up very, very easily. I've always told people that when people ask about my politics, especially because they'll notice on like dating sites and stuff like that, when I used to be on dating sites, I would always list my politics as other. And that always threw people off. They'd be like, what do you mean by other? And I'd be like, I'm a begrudgingly docile anarchist. I don't believe in government. I think government's bad. But at the same exact time, like, I understand that it's something that's unfortunately necessary, and we kind of have to go, you know.
I can sum mine up like
it
Fred
has to be
Flintstone.
like, you know.
Okay, I want to hear what Blake has to say because he doesn't speak often.
Yep, it's super simple. Yabba dabba, don't be a dumbass. That's how I come up.
He's never here. He's in the intro. Like he's in the intro for the show and never shows up. So
I am the ghost of.
Hey, well,
you put him in the intro.
Yeah.
I've been in an intro for a while.
Yeah. Well,
I watched the show.
Heather, I think Blake was in the intro before you were.
I will give Blake credit. He has a good excuse for not being here, and it wasn't working.
And mine's not.
And she. Well, you've been
working. Stop.
Yeah.
You've been
We've
studying.
already acknowledged your good reason.
Yeah, we know. But Blake's reason is very pretty.
Yes, she is.
I do want to point out, by the way, that it's since I've moved into the new apartment, I thought, all right, I'm in a new apartment. I've got a new route. Everything at work is going good right now. I'm going to be able to get down to my wrestling training at a decent time, and everything's going to be fine, right?
Negative.
No. My new route blows. There's no other word for it. Well, you know what? My new route, if I was to compare my new route to anything, I would compare it to Stanley Kubrick's vision of Vietnam. It doesn't suck, it blows. It's oh my god, I hate my route. It is the worst. But because of that, I have been so miserable lately. I was supposed to go to wrestling training tonight. I didn't get off work. Let me think about this for a minute. What time did I get off work? 6:45, 15 minutes. 15 minutes. I got off work 15 minutes after wrestling training started. I didn't get to my house until 8 o'clock. Like, that's how bad tonight was. My job sucks right now. And I really want to talk to my boss about it. I really do. But she's not going to be happy with my conversation with her. I'm going to be like, since the guy that doesn't want to do 290, called out on workman's comp today, can I have 290 and somebody else do 270? And I know what she's going to say. She's going to be like, hell no, because the only person who can do 270 is going to be me. And I'm going to be like, oh. I don't want to make my boss mad.
Lewis?
Lewis, I left you a message in private chat for the AI. You need to try that one. You need to try that one.
I for a while there, I was watching Lewis watch things, and with the lighting and background, I was just waiting for it to dramatically hit a button, and then one of us just ah!
He needs a pair of horns.
Hey,
Nick, he needs a pair of horns.
I didn't do that on purpose. I didn't do that on purpose.
That was hilarious. I hit a button and just vaulted. And now for the rest of the story.
I literally
people other than
getting
up. Speak. Hi,
I'm getting up just to use the bathroom. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to make Nick have a heart attack.
That was totally worth it. Go bodily function elsewhere. You're good, Lewis. Like, that's impressive. Did he have to go to the bathroom, or did he make it?
I merely changed my background to express that I was feeling like I was in hell.
So hell? I'm not going to go there. I was going to ask how certain someone was that's
in any way, shape, or form to the current conversation.
But it works so well.
I get paid to talk on the radio. I got paid to talk on TV, and here I am. I got nothing
listening
to
for free.
I'm in the same boat, Lewis.
Yeah.
I'm just over here.
The only reason I went along was actually no one else knew, so no one else could respond to Skunk, and if not a response, it would have been 2 hours of. He needs his own show, guys. And I'm not bashing him. I'm not giving him shit. He needs the responsibility.
He has his own show.
He has a couple of his own shows.
Yeah.
All right.
Joe,
there he is.
It's nothing that I would be able to. I mean,
hey,
scrub
I know
out.
nothing about video games. I mean, hell, the last thing I played was Atari Tank Battle.
Yeah.
It was
I've
called
been playing
Combat.
Super Mario Sunshine.
It was called Combat, Joe Dog. It was
How about
called Combat,
Gunslinger?
and if you switch the difficulty settings around, you could also be in an airplane.
I've been playing Super Mario
Joe.
Sunshine.
The reason I
How is
posted
that?
that link in the private chat is
Heather, how is that?
Y'all know that I
Buying-
bought my wife the Pac-Man game console for Christmas, so I have been playing Pac-Man and Galaga.
Did you get you got
The one of arcade?
1981
What did I
Amiibo?
miss?
Or the upright?
Yeah, well, I got it. It's a mini console.
Private
It's
chat.
one that, but it's still the vertical. But it's
okay.
it's a flat panel monitor. So it's modern technology, but old school games.
I am
And it's
so
like 6 different Pac-Mans and Galaga.
okay. Oh, like one of the arcade one-ups or whatever.
Yeah,
I've been looking for the right game collection one to come out.
Well, she was a huge Pac-Man fan, so that's the one that I got her.
The 20th anniversary or whatever, 200th anniversary of whatever one up. There's one that has 20 games or some shit on it. So.
Ooh,
Well, and
see,
there's videos on how you can hack the CPU to add more games, but
No. There's with the quote unquote 20th anniversary edition or whatever. I used to work at Best Buy. I know all about the shit. With the quote unquote 20th anniversary edition or whatever, it doesn't have all of the Pac-Man games. It only has the original retro titles. And we're talking about pre 1989 or so. So it's literally Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Pac-Man Jr., and Super Pac-Man, if I remember correctly. It does not have Pac-Mania, Pac-Man 2, or any of the other ones.
I'm sorry, you've got just a bit of delay going again. So you have a very kung fu samurai skunk action. We will. Fine, it is this. And I'm loving it. I'm sorry, it amuses me. You've got this whole Kurosawa vibe, and there's a cute puppy on Joe Dogs. But if I become a millionaire, stupid thing I will buy is the class of 1981 tabletop, like they had at Pizza Hut back in the day.
Well,
Godfathers.
Nick, I do want to
Yeah,
play
Godfathers. Someone who understands real pizza. Thank you so much. You literally just made my night.
My first job was
Godfather's is trash pizza here now.
Wherever I travel, if there's a Godfather's, I'm eating there.
We had one.
Don't eat it in Nashville. That's all I'm saying.
No, go to Kentucky.
Yeah.
There's a gas station just outside of Paducah
Never
that
go to
has it.
Kentucky. Never go to Kentucky. Kentucky sucks. Never go to Kentucky.
If you're going to go and get Godfather's Pizza, it doesn't.
Lewis, if you want Godfather's Pizza still in the Chattanooga area, Mr. T's in St. Elmo.
I think I got one better than that, Joe. Phil's Primetime Pizza in Chickamauga.
Okay.
I've been going there at least once a week to get their Phil, which is a combo that has the black olives and the mushrooms and everything and a pound of mozzarella. Oh. And they make just like Godfathers did with the cheese.
Can we stop talking about food?
No, because I have to talk
Y'all
about
are making me hungry. Y'all are making me hungry.
I grew up in Michigan City,
I
Indiana.
ate hours ago. I already ate food in the house. If
you're hungry.
If I have to make food, I have to go cook
auto-cannibalize.
something.
We're talking here, Skunk. But what I am so sorry for breaking you. That was funny. I shouldn't have said it, but it was funny. But the Godfathers was always the guy who owned it. Only hired ex-cons fresh out of the Westville Supermax. I'm serious. Every ex-con was either out of the Westville Supermax or the Michigan City jail, and they all knew his was the only shot they got. But they all had been living off of jail rations. So I don't know if you guys learned if you're in a cafeteria, you go to the larger lunch lady to get your servings than the smaller lunch lady. You know what I'm saying here? I'm fat for reasons.
Yeah.
These guys, they wanted to eat. They want to see everybody eat. And I mean, these would be the scariest looking, like, I killed 6 dudes in 1987, but here's your family feast. And those pizzas would be this thick, and they're not deep dish. And he didn't care, just walk. Oh my God, I am so hungry now. Now you can talk, Skunk.
Hey, Joe Dog, can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
Can I break the PG rule for a second?
I did already.
Hey, Nick.
Yes, sir.
One of my favorite Godfathers. They had one right outside the gates of the campus of LSU.
So
yeah, they had one little parlor table near the door, and whoever sat at that table automatically got a large combo. If you finished it off by yourself, you could walk out without paying. The only exception, members of the LSU football team. Damn near broke.
No, Lewis, the reason I said Mr. T's in St. Elmo, it is the Godfather's crust recipe. It is Godfather's ingredients, because the guy that owns it used to be the district manager when it was corporate here in town.
Well, I'll try it. What to order? Just the combo?
Well, whatever pizza he used to make. You know, I guess Tyler still owns it. Tyler Gray's the guy that Mr. T's is actually Tyler Gray.
Okay.
Lily, you're banging my mic.
We're gonna have to have pizza, babe.
Okay, Skunk. Now you can break the GPG rule.
Oh, okay. I can break the PG rule. Nick.
One.
Yeah. That's exactly what I think of you. You're number one with me, Nick. Hey, but I do want to point out, by the way, Joe. Now I know it's forever and a day away from you, but if you ate Roselli's in Ringgold, it's not technically Ringgold. It's more like Chattanooga, but Ooltewah Ringgold Road, over there by the Food City. You had there at all?
No.
Damn good pizza. Damn good. I think they're the same people that used to own Luigi's in Ringgold. Good.
You know what, Skunk?
I'm a Chicago guy. And they do good New York style pizza.
I was gonna say somebody have a pizza delivered to Skunk's house, but it's too late. They're closing.
Yeah.
I want to point out when my ex-boyfriend showed up, he brought 2 deep dish Little Caesars pizzas. And not hot and ready's either. I mean, these were literally, he had to wait 15 minutes for these pieces to be baked. And they were delicious. You got a sausage and a pepperoni, and they were awesome. And then later, when he left me the pieces. So I ate the sausage pizza first. But after he left, all I had left was the pepperoni, and that was my lunch and dinner for a couple of days. I didn't order.
That reminds me of a story. When I got my first job in TV, I was still living in Baton Rouge, but I got a job in Lake Charles, which was 2 hours away. Lake Charles did not have a Godfather's Pizza. So, as a housewarming gift, a couple of weeks after I had moved to Lake Charles, my best friend in the whole world managed to talk a Godfather's manager into making 2 large combos and not baking them. And he brought them 2 hours to Lake Charles and got to my house and had my wife put them in the oven. And when I got home, the first thing I smelled was fresh Godfather's combo pizza. And I thought I was having an aneurysm. And then he told me what he had done.
I want to point out real quick. I literally at one point thought I was having a stroke today because I thought I smelled toast for no reason whatsoever. And then I remembered, I was like, oh yeah, I'm traveling downhill on Mount Eagle. That's brake dust.
Yeah, you were smelling brake dust.
Hey, guess what?
Yeah.
Guess what, everybody?
Now, Skunk, when you smell fudge for no reason, there's an alien nearby. You need to call Torchwood.
Well, you want to know what the?
Sure, an artifact's not involved there, Lewis. That sounds like artifact territory.
Oh, that's true. Warehouse 13 could help as well.
Let me give y'all a pro tip from Campton Dan down there. If you ever smell Fruity Pebbles for no reason, don't call anybody.
Just look up to the sky.
Just find some rolling papers. Because that happened to me recently. I was literally this literally happened recently where I was at a place where I was like, I smell Fruity Pebbles, and I look over and it was people rolling a blunt. I was like, holy crap. There's weed like right there. Why does it smell like Fruity Pebbles?
I have a great story like that from my dad, and I have just enough time to squeeze it in. That's hilarious.
Wait, what is that?
The Kroger brand Oreos, they're doing weird flavors now. Sorry, I asked the PG. But yeah, I got the unicorn ones a couple of weeks ago. But that says super fruit. It's super Kaleidos.
Does anybody wait? If you can handle the caffeine and the B12 in it, I want to recommend that everybody here.
Oh, I forgot something.
If you can handle the caffeine and the B12, check out Bang Energy Drinks. Rainbow Unicorn.
Rainbow Unicorn's nasty.
Can't stand that stuff.
It's so sour.
Oh my god, it's so good.
It's just as sour as the Sour Heads one.
Oh, it's so good.
It's the artificial sweetener for me.
Okay.
No. That's birthday cake. Stay the hell away from birthday cake. Birthday cake.
No, I had the unicorn blast. They had it at school.
It's not you. No, not unicorn. You're thinking of Star Blast. Unicorn, the rainbow unicorn is the one I'm talking about.
The one in the blue can with the pink writing?
Be careful, Lewis.
No.
Be careful.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
Accidents can happen. Be careful.
It's in the pink can.
Not on the laptop.
Pink can.
Okay.
Rainbow writing.
All right.
Don't open the homework folder. Don't open the homework.
No. Blake was right. Blake was right, Heather, though. It is sour. It is sour. But yeah, no. No, definitely check out the Rainbow Unicorn in Bang Energy Drink if you like energy drinks.
Rose is good too.
Also try out the Miami Cola. That's another good one because it tastes like Coke.
Yeah. We got to say good night, everybody.
Good night.
We're already running long. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks Lewis, Skunk, Heather, Blake, Nick.
Thank
Dan.
you, Joe Dog.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see y'all at the after show. If not at the after show, we will see you Saturday night.
Saturday.
And then don't forget Nick Tockard's show at 8 p.m. on YouTube.
8 p.m. YouTube, Historical Fencing Guild, and also tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., Brian K. Morris with Never Mind the Furthermore. Everybody be there. I will be there. Joe Dog will be there. You need to be there too. Yeah. Just because we want to make Brian's life a living hell before he has to don't die feed Cookie.
Yeah. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Start the show because just as soon as I end this one, I gotta go pee. I mean, once everybody gets here.
I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds, and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.